Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. If you've ever walked into a meeting room and seen a projector that looks like a tiny box perched on a shelf, only to be met with a dim, washed-out image, you know the frustration of buying a device that sounds impressive on paper but fails in everyday use. That hesitation wondering whether you're getting something that will actually hold up day after day, without a constant stream of lamp replacements or a need to darken the room completely is exactly why I'm taking a close look at the Epson PowerLite L690SU. First off, let's talk about the situation most people find themselves in when they start shopping for a projector. You have a budget, a space, and a set of expectations that aren't just about 1080p or laser tech. You want something that can throw a big, clear picture on a wall that already has a whiteboard, in a room that isn't a blackout theater, and you want it to stay reliable for years without you having to schedule a service call every few months. The L690SU markets itself as a 200 lumen, short-throw laser projector that can fill up to a 400-inch screen. Those numbers sound good, but the real question is how they translate into a typical workday or a weekly lecture. From a practical standpoint, the brightness is where the Epson really shines. At 6,200 lumens, you can run it in a room with typical overhead lighting and still see a crisp image. I've seen similar brightness levels in high school science labs where the lights stay on because students need to see safety equipment. In those scenarios, a lower lumens projector would force the presenter to dim the lights, which can be a hassle and sometimes not even possible. The L690SU's output means you can walk in, flip the switch, and the image pops up without any fiddling with room ambience. The short throw capability is another everyday win. With a throw ratio of 0.79 to 1.36, you can place the projector just a few feet away from the screen and still get a massive image. In a cramped conference room where you can't mount a projector on the ceiling, this flexibility is a lifesaver. Imagine a sales team that needs to set up a demo on the fly in a client's office. They can pull the unit off the cart, set it on a small table, and within seconds have a 100-inch display that's bright enough to be seen even with blinds open. The 1.7x optical zoom adds a little extra wiggle room, letting you fine-tune the size without moving the unit too much. Long-term costs are often the hidden factor that catches people off guard. Traditional lamp-based projectors can cost a few $100s just to replace the bulb after a couple of thousand hours. The L690SU uses a laser light source rated for 30,000 hours, which translates to roughly 10 years of daily use before you'd even think about a replacement. That alone shifts the value proposition from a cheap upfront purchase to a smart investment over time. If you're a university IT department that needs to equip multiple lecture halls, the reduced maintenance and downtime can be a game changer. Now, who should actually consider buying this machine? If you run a medium-sized conference room, a training center, or a university lecture hall where the ambient light can't be fully controlled, the L690SU checks most boxes. Its brightness, short-throw lens, and laser longevity make it a reliable workhorse for anyone who needs a big image without the hassle of dark rooms or frequent bulb swaps. It also works well for small to medium-sized home theaters that aren't built like a dedicated media room. You can set it up on a low shelf, pull a large screen down, and still get a bright, detailed picture for movies or sports. On the flip side, there are buyers who should probably look elsewhere. If you're a true home theater enthusiast who wants the deepest blacks, HDR support, and a cinema-grade contrast ratio, the L690SU isn't built for that niche. Laser light sources are great for brightness, but they don't inherently improve black levels the way a DLP or a true 4K UHD projector might. Also, the unit doesn't come with lens shift, which means you'll have to be precise about your mounting angle. In a tight ceiling grid, that could mean extra effort or the need for a custom mount. Finally, the price point sits higher than many entry-level lamp projectors, so if you're only using it a few times a year in a dark room, you might be paying for features you'll never really leverage. A practical weakness that shows up in real use is the lack of built-in HDR or wide color gamut processing. The WUXGA 19201200 resolution is a step up from standard 1080p and gives you a little extra vertical space for spreadsheets or detailed slides, but it still falls short of true 4K. For most business presentations and classroom lectures, that's fine, but if you plan to stream Netflix or play the latest video games, you'll notice the difference. The image is